stream.
Yes.
Hey guys, this is Andrew from Visions TV Online. I hope you're doing really well today. You know what? I am back with another interview. I know I always say that line, I'm back with another interview, but I am back. It's the new year. It is 2021, and we're going to kickstart this year with a great interview. And this year, we have one of our first interviews of the year, guys. And we're going to start off with a Canadian rapper called Ayomilly in the building, guys, in the building. Yeah, and he's all the way from Canada. I'm so excited to have him online. And guess what? Ayomilly, he was participated on our Christmas special not too long ago. And listen, like the feedback and response from him and his music, listen, people are feeling him in the UK, and guess what? We're feeling him too. So we just thought, let's get him back and interview him, find out how he's doing, what's been happening since the Christmas special, and yeah, just get to know Ayomilly. So Ayomilly, what's going down, my friend? How you doing?
Not much, just hanging out, just getting things done, and I'm excited to be here, excited to talk to you about some stuff.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So like I said, you were a part of our Christmas special, yeah? And oh man, listen, it was a privilege just to have you on board with our Christmas special. We had lots of artists from different places across the world, the UK, Canada, Africa, some parts of the Caribbean and stuff like that. But listen, like it was great to actually have a rapper on board with our Christmas special. How did you feel to be a part of it?
I mean, I thought it was a great experience. I was watching a lot of the what was going on, and it was amazing. Like there was a lot of talent. I was overwhelmed, like even that I was part of that, because there was just so much great talent going on, and it was all for Christmas, you know, to celebrate the birth of Jesus, and to, even though I didn't have a Christmas song, even though I wasn't exactly, you know, in the Christmas side of things, it was a privilege to be able to share my music and put it out there with other amazing artists.
Amazing, amazing. So look, you need to tell us what's the meaning by the word Ayomilly. What does that mean? Tell the audience what does that mean?
So it's not really a huge meaning, but it was my old artist name. My old artist name is actually Ayomilly, because my name is Joel, and Millie is kind of, I grew up on Don Mills. It's a street in Toronto, Ontario, in Canada. So it was kind of just like just a nickname. People started calling me it. People ended up only calling me Millie anyway, instead of the J Millie. And I had been making other music before. I kind of wanted to change and things, and have a new name, and have a new selection of music and everything under one name. But there's also a lot of Millies out there. So the AO is just kind of like a tagline, so that I could have my own Spotify, my own Instagram, all this stuff, so people wouldn't get confused with my music and someone else's music who has the same name. So yeah, AO is just like kind of like, hey yo, like what's up, and then Millie. So most people just call me Millie, but Ayomilly, Millie, either one's fine.
So you kind of just gave us a small little glimpse about you used to do other music before. Like where did it all start for you? Like literally, like how did you get to the point to say like now I'm going to be Ayomilly, and then I'm going to be doing Christian music? So was you always doing Christian music? Like tell the audience what was you doing before then, and what transitioned you to be who you are today?
So I started making music young. I was like 14 or 15 when I started just, recording little freestyles on my phone.
Yeah.
Um, then it went on to when I moved to another school in my senior year of high school. There was a studio class, and I really got into mixing and mastering, engineering, and working on my own music and finding my sound. I wasn't always in like the Christian setting. I grew up. My dad's a pastor, so I've always been around the Christian hip hop scene. I grew up listening to Lecrae, Andy Mineo, KB, all those guys, right? So I had a there was a big influence in my life in Christian hip hop, but I had gone my own way for a couple years out of high school, probably about 2 or 3 years. I was recording and making music with artists around Toronto. I actually owned a studio for a while. For about a year and a half to 2 years, I had a studio at my house first, in my parents' basement actually to start, and then I branched out to my friend's basement. But I'd also gotten involved in a lot of other things. Music wasn't really the main focus for me. I was just trying to make money. So my whole thought process of everything I was doing was not right. Um, I don't know like how much detail to get into, but basically I was in the world. I was doing my own thing. I wasn't making music for anybody but myself. Um, but I think it was about October of 2019 when I had actually came back to the church. I'd been back to the church just before that. I started going back to the church. I wasn't 100% there with everything. I knew a lot of stuff from what I learned growing up as a kid about God and about the church and whatnot, but I wasn't fully there until about October. I think it was October 28th. I actually remember the day. It was when I fully changed everything in my life. I quit all my bad habits. I quit smoking. I quit drinking. I quit everything.
Wow.
Started reading my Bible every day. Um, I just started trying to find peace, trying to find something that would make me feel better. Because honestly, everything I was doing, the music and drugs and anything else that I was doing to try to make myself feel better, it wasn't working. So
Yeah.
at that point, I guess I was tired. I was tired of being messed up in the brain. Like I couldn't think straight.
Yeah.
And once I started reading my Bible, once I started going back to the church, once I started connecting with people that I used to connect with when I was growing up, and getting those relationships back, especially the relationship with my parents, because we had not had a good relationship for the last couple of years. So even when I started going back to church and started listening to some of the things that they were trying to teach me, our relationship started to get stronger as well. And from there, everything just I felt at peace with everything. Like everything just felt I felt comfortable, right? I wasn't doing all the things I was doing before, and
Yeah.
yeah, I was more at peace. I was, so then I was like, I need to start making music again because I had stopped. I had deleted all my socials, no Instagram, anything. I deleted it for about 6 months, just completely off the grid. I just
Wow. That must have
ghosted
been
everyone for
crazy.
6 months. Yeah, so I was really desperate to find myself. So I think that's what led to doing all that extreme. But I told myself I was never gonna make music again because I just couldn't see from what I was making before. I couldn't see where I was gonna go with my music because I guess there is a line, people um, can be sort of ashamed, not really like yeah, ashamed to rap about certain things, like about God and whatnot. But I finally got to the point where I was like, why would I be ashamed of that? Like this is me now. So I started getting more comfortable with the idea of rapping about God. But then the next thing I had to jump over was rapping about like what I was gonna talk about in my music and
Yeah.
to what like deepness, like to what extent, like where am I gonna go with my music and what am I really gonna talk about? And do I want my family hearing this about me from the past? Do I want my friends hearing this about me, right? So, but once I got over that, I prayed about it for a while. I tried to write music, I tried to make music, and I couldn't do it. I was like, so I was trying to find something else to do in my life, and every time I would get a new job, I would just, after a couple months, I'd be like, man, I'm sick of working. Like I feel like I should be doing something else, right? I feel like I should be making
Uh,
music. So then I started releasing my first song. I actually released in January of last year, January 22nd. I released "Never Know."
never know. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
that
How's
was
it
the
getting?
one I performed at the Christmas
Christmas
special.
special. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the first one where it all started. I had a couple songs before I released that,
Yeah.
so I was trying to build up sort of a portfolio of music before I started releasing music, because I figured if I am gonna work and I am gonna be busy, I don't want to get trapped in that, like, okay, I release a song, now what? Am I gonna kind of fade away if I don't release something else? So I had a whole bunch saved up to release, and
Hey.
I just tried to stay as consistent as possible throughout the year. I had gone to Mexico in February,
Wow.
filmed a music video there. I actually recorded in a studio there too. I recorded about 8 songs in 10 days.
Oh my goodness.
Um, yeah,
What
so
is going on? You
that and
you're a grafter, ain't it?
and I did 2 videos as well with I did a feature with these 2 Mexican rappers that were there.
Wow.
And yeah, so that after that, that's when everything with COVID hit, and
Mhm.
I had actually plans to go to Atlanta,
Okay.
and um that didn't happen because COVID. That's when COVID started getting bad, and so then there was lockdown, and then I was stuck at home, and I just made music. I just kept making music. There were times where it's hard to make music, hard to know what to talk about. But I feel like I'm really like I get into like moods. So sometimes like I won't record for a month or two, even if I'm not
Yeah.
really, if I can't feel it, and then I'll just record like a whole bunch of music in a week. That's kind of how I work. Um,
Well, so
but yeah, so
it seems like you're like a very you like things structured, you like things organized, and
mhm,
you like to make sure before you do something, you want to do it with excellence.
yeah,
And that's what I'm getting from you. Like when
mhm,
you were saying just a few moments ago about okay, before I do anything, I want to make sure that I've got at least 10 tracks
mhm,
ready so I can actually
yeah,
just then go off because you didn't want to kind of like fade
mhm,
away after just one track because and I can hear that I can see that
yeah,
I hear that because a lot of artists nowadays is just oh I got this banging track I'm going to release this as my single
mhm,
and then next year you know it's like what's next like what's
yeah,
going on like you don't hear them from them for a while because
mhm,
because they might not have more creativity to create a new track
mhm,
whatsoever. But that's encouragement to others is that just to kind of put some sort of structure to your
mhm,
music or your whatever your project is, you know, like
mhm.
what motivate you do to kind of have that type of a procedure or structure to kind of putting your music out? Like what
Yeah,
is motivation?
I'd say like it's because I've been through that before as well when I was making music before.
Yeah,
There have been points where I had released all my music, and then I'm sitting there with no ideas, and just that's it. I was like, okay, I guess that's it. I guess I'm done. Because it's not every day. Like a lot of artists will be in the studio every single day. A lot of artists will say like, okay, music's not really your passion unless you're in the studio every day. I don't really listen to any of that because I don't believe those things. For me, I don't want to force anything, right? A lot of these artists are also people who will have 100 songs, but they're really only going to release 10 of those songs ever, right? So the way I go about it is I don't want to make a song unless I think I'm going to release it. I'll start to record a song, And if I don't like the way it's sounding, I'll delete the whole track. I won't even keep it. Like I'll just completely delete it and start with a new song, or just move on to the next beat, anything like that, right? And so that's where I'm also I before I start releasing music, I wanted a plan. I wanted to have enough songs out. I had actually planned out my whole 2020 of releases. It changed. It did change. I did end up releasing other songs I recorded, new songs that I recorded between my original plan and the end of the year. But the fact that I had a solid plan for if I didn't make any new music,
Yeah.
it made me more comfortable. So it's like even right now, I have a plan for 2021. I have an album dropping on Friday. I have another two albums that are ready to go. Um,
Okay.
and so now I know I can fully focus on the other things because it's more than just making music, right? Of course, I want to just make music all the time. That's it. But
Yeah.
there's a lot more to it. There's, I want to be able to properly promote. I want to be able to. I'm learning to produce right now. I'm trying to be making all of my own beats by the end of the year. I do mixing and mastering. I work with other artists too. That's how I make some more income now. I do all the mixing and mastering. I want to do all my own mixing and mastering as well. Just be able
Right.
to save as much money as possible because there are things people don't think about, but you have to pay for promotion. You have to pay for to get yourself out there. And I guess that's what a lot of artists, even how I was thinking back in the day, was you have a good song, you think you're just gonna go somewhere with that song, but that's not really how it works, right? You have to have a plan, right? So I know that you have to have a plan, which is why I had set up a plan, and now I have this plan for 2021. I don't know if it's going to go exactly how I'm planning it because, again, when it comes to planning, especially as a Christian, my plan is only so much, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know what God's going to do in that time. So I don't know really is this plan, is this what's going to happen? It probably won't be because this is just my thinking, right? My thought process. So
Yeah.
I have an initial plan, not so that I can follow it step by step, but so that if things happen, if I need to work full time to support myself and I can't make any music for the next year, I still have enough music so I could stay relevant for the next year, right? Because
Come on now.
we're in a day where artists come and go because there's so many. The market is so saturated. There's so many artists that if you don't post something, especially as a growing artist, if you're
Yeah.
already established artist, there's really no rules to how long you can wait to drop things. But as a growing artist, you need to be applying the pressure. You need to constantly be putting stuff out.
Wow.
So I just want to make sure I have enough to be able to do that if things go a different way that I didn't expect, right? So I just
Yeah.
want to be prepared.
Come on now. Now, I know that we are bursting to know about your music. So the first track I came across was Never Know, and that track is banging, yeah. And but you talk about some deep stuff in that song,
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about your best friend and almost getting shot and all those sort of things,
Mm-hmm.
like that's a lot, like for someone to be going through and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
How did you actually cope, and how was your mental well-being when you was going through those sort of things, and you was at a young age when you was going through all those sort of things? So
Mm-hmm.
like tell us more about that and how you actually coped and what made you get through those circumstances.
Yeah, so well, when I was younger, when my friend passed away, when all that happened,
Mm,
um, I honestly didn't really figure all that stuff out until a year or two ago.
yeah.
Um, I've always been kind of the person to put things behind me. Um, that's sort of why I make music too, is because I've never really been too good at talking about things. Um, but the way
Mm,
I am is I have to talk about things to understand myself, right?
yeah.
So if I want to understand my thought process, what's going on in my head, I need to talk about it. But with certain things that happen and events, um, I didn't feel like I could talk about it. I didn't ever talk to anyone, therapists, anything about what had happened when I was younger. Um, so it was a big thing where I didn't really know how I felt about it, right? Because
Yeah,
people would ask me and I wouldn't want to talk about it. Then when I was older and I was going through other things in the world, I was able to talk about it because I had started making music, and that is
yeah,
still, even though I wasn't a Christian artist, that was still very much part of my story and part of what I would rap about. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, so honestly, it wasn't until that time where then I started, like when I started becoming a Christian, that's when I started thinking back and trying to see my actions and how my actions matched up with what feeling, like what I was feeling in that moment, right?
yeah,
So that's where the music helped as well, because all those things that I say in that song, like I don't know if I could sit here and just say that to someone. I mean, I think maybe now I can, because I have talked about it, I have written it down, I've organized my thoughts about it. But if I were to not write that song and someone were to ask me how I felt or something like that, I don't think I could sit in front of them and explain fully how I felt because I didn't know how I felt, right?
yeah,
Um, it's just like it was a constant battle of trying to forget about it and then trying to forget about how I feel about it. So it wasn't until I started um, letting myself think about it, letting myself talk about it, and recognizing what was going on through my head at specific times, and even now, that's when things started to click, and I started to understand myself more as well.
yeah. So I read on one of your press releases that that music is therapeutic to you. So
Mhm.
it was music one of the vehicles that help you to overcome helps you to overcome emotions and get you over like issues and how does God like come into the mix of that?
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. Not even just my own music, right? You can even go back to just listening to music. When you listen to music, it's it is therapeutic, and it really depends what you're listening to. A lot of people think that music won't affect you. Like, if I listen to this artist, it's not going to affect me in this way. But I believe it really does because I genuinely love music and I listen to what people are saying. I listen to the beat. I listen to everything. And there is something that goes on in your head when you're listening to a song that you remember, right?
Yeah,
Um, when it comes to my own music, um, you know, I'm part of the therapy is writing it because I have a beat and I can rhyme and I can try to put together a story, something that I probably wouldn't just type up a paragraph of how I'm feeling, but I could put into a song because it feels like it feels like I'm doing something. I'm getting something done. I'm not just figuring my thoughts out and figuring myself out. I'm also, getting work done. And I've always been that type of person where I feel like uh, if I don't get work done, I start getting a little depressed, right? Like, because I feel like I'm not doing anything. But yeah, so the writing is therapeutic because I'm learning about myself as I'm also making music and doing work, and then listening to it as well. Something I do a lot is I go back and I listen to my old music.
yeah,
Even when I was in the world, that music too, and then I'll compare it to my music now and remind myself how far I've come from that garbage music. Not only quality and lyrics and all that sort of like musical things, like even musically it's complete garbage compared to the new stuff I've been making since I've become a Christian and since I've been rapping about God. Um and then on top of it is also garbage content, right? So
yeah,
I believe, like, since I've become a Christian, since I've completely put the focus on God, not myself, um not only have had, like, the music has gotten better, like everything about the music has gotten better, the production, the mixing, the lyrics.
yeah,
um so I feel like I'm at a way higher level than I was before.
yeah,
Even though not a lot of people are going to like it, not everyone's going to enjoy what I'm talking about. um, I still feel a lot of people appreciate the level of quality, and that's
Yeah,
something a lot of people will appreciate, even if they're not Christian, even if they're not if they're completely different, they still will listen to my song, and a lot of the times it's that quality that gets them to listen, and
yeah,
they enjoy what they're hearing, even if they're gonna judge at first, right? Just seeing who I am and what I believe in. But once they listen to the music, I feel like a lot of them kind of switch. They kind of turn sides because they're not really thinking exactly about what I'm saying at first. They're thinking about the quality of the music because I'm just a new artist, right? Maybe it's the
yeah,
first time they're hearing me. So once they hear that quality, then they start listening, and maybe they enjoy it, and then they start listening to what I'm actually saying, and
yeah.
that's
Of
where I feel that that's the most important part, right? So
course,
I
of
just want to be able to
100%.
grab, I want to be able to grab the listener's attention first, and then be able to, have the lyrics reach out to them, and hopefully they could
Okay.
relate to something in there.
Now, I believe that you're about to drop another new single, right? Is that correct?
So I have the album actually dropping next on
Yeah. So the
Friday.
album is,
Hmm.
and that's called Unstoppable, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So tell me how many tracks is in the album? Sorry.
So the album has 9 songs. Three of them are already released. So Never Knows on the album. Testing Me, which is another song that I had previously released, is on the album, and my latest single that I dropped about a month ago, I think it's November 27th. I dropped that, so a bit more than a month. I dropped Can't Go Back, which is featuring Florida artist TJ Carroll.
Okay.
So those 3 songs are on the album, and then there's 6 brand new songs, a
Woo.
couple more features. I actually have a feature with someone UK based. His name's Like Mike's. He's a really
Okay.
talented artist, another a Christian artist from the UK. So I think that's one of the better songs on the album. I believe all the songs on the album are up to my best, some of my best work. But Like Mike's is super talented. His verse is insane. Like I can't wait for everyone to hear
Come
his
on.
part and my part, of course. But for sure his part's gonna go hard.
UK in the building, guys. As you can hear this, UK's in the building. Collaborate with Canada in the building.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Well, I'm looking forward to like hearing more from you and your album and getting to know you a bit more when every song drops. I'm just looking to hear that quality. Well, you
Mm-hmm.
definitely set the bar because you're telling us you're a mixing engineer, you're a
Mm-hmm.
producer, you're a rapper. You're going to tell me that you build houses in a minute. You're going to.
Yeah, no, I used to.
I'm looking forward to seeing more Ayomilly. Like, so please tell the audience, like, where can they find you and your music?
Yeah, so honestly, my music's everywhere. Just like most people nowadays, you can get your music on all platforms. I use DistroKid, so if you use Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer, Tidal, Amazon, iHeartRadio, YouTube, honestly, anywhere you can think that you can find music, you can find me. All you have to do is search up Ayomilly. Um, I'm the only person that comes up if you search Ayomilly, so it's not too hard to find. Even on Google, if you just want to search my name on Google, there'll be all my songs, all my music, all my socials. Or you can go to aomilly.com, which is my website that has um, all my music, as well as I have a giveaway going on for some AirPods right now for the album. It
Okay,
has my
so
mixing
that's
rates.
coming directly to me, so I can have as for my own personal gift from Ayomilly.
Uh-huh.
So sorry guys, it's been taken already. I'm joking, I'm joking.
All you got to do is pre-save the album. That's it. That's all you got to do to enter, and then I'll be going live on Instagram when the album's dropping. I'll be announcing the winner. I'll do a little spin the wheel thing online, and yeah, it's trying to give back, and at the same time be able to get those pre-saves so that more and more people can see to have that on their like Spotify playlists and all
Yeah.
that jazz.
Amazing, amazing. And just before we wrap up, um, if you was to leave like a word of encouragement to anybody in the world right now, and what would that be coming from yourself?
honestly, through personal experience, just trusting God. That's the most important thing to me. Um, as you'll hear in the album, a lot of what I'm talking about is about my past, but if you listen to the whole thing through, a lot of it is about right now as well and how I got to where I'm at right now. And the stress, the pain, the brokenness, it's all nothing compared to what you can feel with Jesus. Like putting your trust in God, it just completely it it just makes you feel so good. Like I don't even know how to put it into words. Like it's just I really have no worries um like I've had before, and that's completely from having a relationship with Jesus. Just read your Bible, meditate, pray, fast, whatever you need to do. Just always remember Jesus, keep your focus on Jesus and God, and honestly, like what could go wrong? Just I'm at peace. That's how it is. That's how you get at peace. But yeah.
All right. Well, you heard it, guys. You heard it from Ayomilly. Ayomilly, thank you once again for coming online with Visions TV online. It's like I said, it's a privilege to have you from all the way from Canada and blessing Visions TV online all the way in the UK. And we are looking forward to your album, which is called Unstoppable, guys.